Rain made the city honest. It hit the neon and turned it into a smear, like the skyline was crying mascara down its own face. People said it washed things clean. People said a lot of things when they were trying to pretend they weren't trapped. Neon doesn't hide blood. It just makes it prettier. My coat was soaked through, the kind of wet that crawls under your skin and squats there like it owns you. My boots slapped puddles on the lower level walkways, where the towers stopped being architecture and started being cliffs. Above me, the rich lived in glass. Below me, the poor lived in rust. In the middle, where I walked, we lived in surveillance. Cameras were everywhere, black domes that watched you blink, little red lights that never slept. I didn't look up at them. Not because I was brave, because eye contact is permission. I kept my head down and my hand near the inside of my coat. The pistol was cold against my ribs, familiar as a bad memory. A message pinged my comm. One word, no sender ID. Now, that meant one thing. Someone wanted something done fast enough to skip the lies. No time for negotiation, no time for moral questions. Just time for consequences. I turned off the main corridor and stepped into the arteries of the city. Alleys that smelled like wet metal and old cooking oil. Market stalls huddled under ragged awnings. Holographic signs buzzed and flickered, selling dreams cheap and charging interest. A kid with chrome eyes watched me pass. He didn't smile. He didn't need to. The city taught children early, don't show teeth unless you're ready to bite. I reached the rendezvous. It was a noodle shop that never closed and never asked names. The kind of place where the soup tasted like salt and secrets. The owner was an old woman, hands like wire, a gaze like a ledger. She didn't look up when I walked in. Back room, she said. Don't bleed on my floor. I almost laughed. Almost. My humor had been buried with other soft parts of me. The back room was smaller than a coffin and twice as friendly. A single light tube buzzed overhead, casting sickly white over stained tile. A man sat at a table with a hood up and a data pad open. His face was a blur under a privacy mesh, but his posture was expensive, corporate. He slid a chip across the table without a word. No handshake, no introduction. Silas Kross, he said anyway, my name through a voice filter, like it was something he didn't want in his mouth. Depends who's asking, I said. You know who, he said. This is not a job. It is a correction. I picked up the chip, turned it between my fingers. Old habit. Feel the weight, feel the edges, decide if it's a bullet in disguise. What's missing? I asked. A package, he said, taken from a courier, lower market. The courier was compromised. Compromised how? I asked. He paused, just long enough to make the air colder. Dead, he said. Dead is a condition, I said. Compromised is a story. You don't get paid for stories, he said. You get paid for returning what was taken. Do that, and you'll keep breathing without interference. There it was, the corporation's version of kindness, a threat wrapped in paperwork. I leaned back. The chair creaked like it hated me. Where? I asked. He flicked the data pad. A map bloomed on the wall, an overlay of the lower district, highlighted with a pulsing red circle, a block I knew, the kind where the streetlights were broken on purpose. The shard is there, he said. I froze, just for a second. Shard, I repeated. He realized his mistake too late, the tiniest adjustment in his shoulders, a hiccup in confidence. Package, he corrected. I stood. Payment? I asked. He slid another chip. He didn't say the amount. He didn't need to. Core only overpay when they're afraid. I pocketed it. If I'm going to get shot tonight, I said, I'd like to know why. He looked at me through the blur. You won't, he said. Not if you're smart. I left before he could finish pretending. Outside, the rain had turned heavy. like the sky was trying to drown the city before it could confess. I walked fast, not running. Running makes people look. The lower market was a maze of stacked containers and makeshift bridges. Neon signs fought for attention, cheap booze, synthetic meat, illegal mods. The air was thick with smoke and electricity. Somewhere, bass thumped, like a heartbeat with arrhythmia. I crossed a footbridge and saw the alley, red circle, dead end. Two men stood at the mouth, pretending to smoke. Their eyes were too still, their hands too loose. Not gang, not cops, security contractors, the kind the corp used when they didn't want paperwork. I kept walking, past them, didn't glance, counted steps. 1, 2, 3. I heard their footsteps behind me, soft, professional. I turned into a side corridor and ducked under a hanging tarp. My boots hit puddles that reflected the neon above, like fractured teeth. I moved in silence. The city had taught me that too. One of them rounded the corner. I didn't hesitate. My pistol came up, a suppressed cough. The man's head snapped back. His body hit the wall and slid down, like a puppet with its strings cut. The other one shouted, not words, just alarm. I ran. Bullets chased me, punching holes in tarps and metal. Sparks flew. Someone screamed. No one helped. No one ever helped. Helping gets you killed. I slid behind a stack of crates and reloaded with hands that didn't shake. The shaking comes later, when you're safe. The trick is, not being safe for so long you forget how it feels. A drone whined overhead. Too soon. That wasn't street-level security, that was corporate. The corp had lied. The corp had sent me into an ambush. Shocking. I moved deeper, past stalls, past a butcher selling things that used to be animals, past a woman with a broken halo tattooed around her eye. Then I saw it. The dead courier. He was sprawled in the alley like he'd been thrown there. His coat was torn open. His chest was a crater. Clean edges, not a bullet. Something that burned through flesh, with precision. I knelt. The rain washed over him, tried to erase him. It wouldn't. His hand was clenched tight around something small. I pried his fingers open. Metal. Dark. Dense. Like a piece of night cut into shape. A shard, etched with lines that weren't language. Not exactly. They were symbols. But they had rhythm. Patterns that made your eyes want to blink in time with them. It shouldn't have existed. The shard pulsed against my palm. Heat. Sudden and sharp. Like a brand. My breath caught. A sound crawled into the back of my skull. Not a voice, not a thought. A pressure, like something leaning close to whisper. The symbols brightened, just for a heartbeat. And in that heartbeat, I understood something I didn't want to understand. It recognized me. I jerked my hand back like the metal had teeth. A drone hovered at the alley entrance. Its camera iris widened, its red lens locked onto me. A mechanical voice chirped. Identity confirmed. Then the alley lit up with laser dots. Sniper sights. 3, 4, maybe more. I stood slowly, shard in my left hand, pistol in my right. The rain fell harder, like it was trying to knock me down before they could. A speaker crackled from the drone. Silas Kross, a voice said. No filter, no blur, a real voice. Calm, female, that was worse. You have property belonging to Vantacore, she said. Place it on the ground, step away, lie down. Ask nicely, I said, because I'm stupid that way. She didn't laugh. Place it down, she said again. Now, I looked at the shard. It pulsed again. Not heat this time, something else. A tug, like gravity had found a new direction. The runes flared, faint but undeniable. The air around it shimmered. The rain that struck it, hesitated. Droplets hung a fraction too long before falling. Reality blinked. My skin prickled. I heard boots clattering nearby, contractors closing in. I had seconds, maybe less. I did what I always did when I ran out of options. I chose the one that hurt. I sprinted. Gunfire erupted. Bullets tore the air. One clipped my shoulder, hot and sharp, like someone stabbing me with a needle made of fire. I grunted, but I didn't slow. Pain is information. I filed it away. I vaulted over the courier's body. My boots slipped on blood and water. I recovered. Barely. Ahead, a maintenance door half hidden behind a pile of scrap. I slammed into it. It gave with a groan. Inside was darkness and the smell of ozone. A stairwell, narrow, concrete, industrial. I took the steps 2 at a time. My shoulder throbbed. The shard throbbed with like it was sinking to my pulse. Behind me, footsteps. The contractors entered the stairwell. Their lights cut through the dark and jagged beams. They shouted orders, anger, fear. Fear was new. I hit the landing. Another door. Locked. I cursed, quietly, like swearing might summon better luck. Bullets punched into the wall beside my head. Concrete dust burst like smoke. I pressed my back to the door and looked down. 3 men, helmets, armor, corporate muscle. One raised a rifle, the barrel steadied. He was going to put a hole in my face and call it risk management. My left hand tightened around the shard. The runes burned brighter. The whisper returned, stronger now. Closer. Not words exactly. More like instructions shoved into my mind, a pattern, a sequence like code waiting to be executed. My mouth moved before I decided to speak. A single sound left my throat. Rough, ancient, wrong. The shard flashed. The lights in the stairwell flickered. The contractor's visors stuttered with static, and the door behind me, locked, dead, solid, clicked open, like it had been waiting for my permission. I didn't waste time asking why. I fell through the doorway and slammed it shut. For a second, there was silence, then pounding, shouts, rage. I stood in a corridor lit by emergency strips. The air was colder here, cleaner, like the city didn't want this place touched. A service tunnel, old, too old for this tower. The concrete was cracked, with lines that looked uncomfortably similar to the shard's patterns. I stared at the walls. My heart beat hard. The shard beat with it. This wasn't just tech. This was something buried, something the city had built over and forgotten on purpose. My comm buzzed. A message. No sender, just text. Return the shard, or we take your heart out with interest. I stared at the screen. Then the tunnel lights went out, not flickered, out. Blackness swallowed me, and in the dark, something moved. Something that wasn't human. Something that knew my name.